Welcome. Today in our word study, I want to challenge you a little bit, myself as well. Really, anytime you engage the Word of God, it challenges you and everyone around you that is touched by it. You can't engage with the Word of God and it not engage with you. It's a powerful thing and it's a wonderful thing. So in Philippians 4 and 6, the Apostle Paul, writing to the Philippians, he said, we are told there to be careful for nothing. To be careful for nothing. That's quite a statement and a very difficult challenge in itself. So today the word careful has taken on a different meaning than it was used by the translators when the translation was made. For us today, it means to be cautious. Be careful for nothing. Be cautious. Be cautious. But when the translators wrote it, it didn't mean to be cautious. It meant to be full of anxious care, worry. So I want to talk today about, in this word study, a worry not. K-N-O-T, not. N-O-T, not. And we'll figure that out in a minute. But full of anxious worry. Be careful for nothing. In other words, don't be full of anxious care, or don't be full of worry, or even more particular, perpetual worry, perpetual, continual. You worry about something and you always worry about that something. It's perpetual. It perpetuates. It is worry that produces more worry, perpetual worry. It is a very destructive, very limiting, very hindering thing, perpetual worry. And Paul in 4 and 6 says to be careful or to be anxious, or that is, don't worry for nothing. Perpetual worry. The same Greek word is also found in Matthew 6:25, where he said, take no thought. That take no thought is the same Greek word that is be careful for nothing. Take no thought. Take no thought. Don't worry. Don't perpetually worry, the writer said in Matthew. Don't continually, perpetually, I'm butchering it, perpetually worry. Don't do it. Just don't do it. When we do worry, and we perpetually worry, what happens to us is that it ties us up into knots. Because when you're in a knot, because you're in a worry knot, you're worrying so that you are in a knot, you can't loosen up, you can't do or accomplish or to be what you should be or to get done what you need to get done because you are in a state of anxious, perpetual worry. So it puts you in a knot. You're tied up in a knot, But we are to not, N-O-T, worry. We're not to be in a worry knot. But we are to worry not, N-O-T. So we are to not worry, the apostle tells us. And when we do worry, it causes us to not trust God when we perpetually worry. It also hinders our answers to prayer when we are in a perpetual state of worry. It hinders it. It hinders it. And we definitely don't want to hinder that. In 1 Peter 5 and 5, we're going to find out that Paul, in his assertion in Philippians 4:6 about that we are to be careful for nothing, or we do not have anxious worry perpetually for nothing, we're going to find that he is on solid ground for his statement. So when we look in 1 Peter 5 and 5, he says there, casting all your care upon him being Jesus Christ. So casting all your care upon Jesus, for he careth for you. For Jesus careth for you. He cares for us. That's a powerful statement. That is one of the most incredible statements in the Word of God. I mean, there's so many. You can't really hardly just pick one. But if I was going to pick one that really stands out to me, this is one of them. This is one of the highest ones in my book, is the fact that I know that the creator of heaven and earth and the sea and all that is in them cares for me personally. Oh, my God, what a phenomenal statement that is. So when you look at 1 Peter 5 and 5, he says, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. The word care there in the Greek, casting all your care, the care in the Greek there, is the same Greek word that was used, the word care is the same Greek word there. It's the same word. And casting all your care. It's the same Greek word that was for anxious worry, for perpetual worry, perpetual anxious worry. It's the same word here. So we are to casting all our perpetual worry, all of our anxious worry. We're to cast all of that upon Jesus Christ. We're to put it on him, hand it to him. So now the word care, casting all your care, the care is the same word, but now the Greek word used for casting there is not the same word at all. And it doesn't even mean the same thing that we would use it for. We would say casting is like casting it out or casting it away or throwing it, cast it, throw it. But in the Greek, the particular word here does not mean to throw. It means to, rather with deliberate, definite will, definite will. In other words, by active choice. You make a decision. It's a definite choice. And in that definite choice, you are not throwing it, like casting it away, but in the Greek, you are making a definite choice of will to put it into the hands of Jesus Christ. You're putting your anxious, perpetual worry into the hands of Jesus Christ. You're making a conscious, willful, definitive decision to do that. You're trusting God. And by that trust in God, you open up the gates for prayers to be answered. It's a very powerful combination. It is a definite act of the will, placing the perpetual worry into the hands of the eternal God. It's a phenomenal thing. He wants us to place our lives in his hands because he cares for us. Because he careth for us. He careth for us. Now that word careth is not the word worry. It doesn't mean to worry like the perpetual anxious worry. It doesn't mean that. He doesn't worry for us. He careth for us, but it doesn't mean he worries. In the Greek, that word that is careth there rather means that he is that your welfare is his concern. So it's his concern. It's not worry like anxious worry, but your welfare is his concern. In other words, he's interested and he has investment in your well-being and my well-being. He wants you. He wants me to be happy, to live good, to have prosperous lives, to be established and founded upon a strong foundation of the Word of God. Then, if in the there is an very ancient Greek manuscript, and in it, a man's name is given. And pardon me, I'll probably butcher this a little bit, but his name in the Greek in that manuscript is Titidios. Is the first name, and his last name is Nos. The first name is a proper name. The second name, however, is Nos, which is the Greek word for worry, a worrier, one who worries all the time, a worrier. But he has that alpha in the front of it, that A in the front of it, and that changes it so that whenever that's a prefix to a Greek like that, it means not. So it's not whatever is next. So what's next is a perpetual worrier. But by that alpha being in the front, that A, it makes it not a perpetual worrier. So at some point, it is believed that this man had a name change. And he went from one known as this individual who worries all the time to one who never worries anytime anymore. He's not a worrier. He's not a perpetual worrier. Wouldn't it be awesome and amazing if we could also do the same thing and place that not in front of our name? So it's our name, and we're not a worrier. We're not or rather, more in particular, we're not a perpetual worrier. We don't worry forever and always. Rather, instead, we are more interested in trusting in God by putting our lives into his very hands by willful choice, that he may be one who is concerned for our well-being because he careth for us. God bless you.